welcome to another episode. In today's episode, I am going to be explaining what is a regular expression in JavaScript. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you want to get notified every time that I upload a new video, you can hit the ring bell. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, everybody, so to get started in regular expressions, I need you to open MDN, and I also need you to have open the same code that we have been using so far with the console as well, and, Visual Studio Code in here to make sure that we have everything ready to start learning this chapter today. And in MDN, I need you to open two articles. The first one is regular expressions, so you can simply type on your search box RegEx, and then in here you just select the first article that you find, and that'll be it. And then the second sheet that I want you to have open here, the second article, is going to be the regular expression syntax. Just type in regular expression syntax, and then the second article is going to say regular expression syntax cheat sheet. So that's the one that I need you to have open, because we're going to be using this to explain you a couple of things today. So let's go back to the first one. And to get started, the first thing that you need to know is what is a regular expression? What's the big deal about this? So remember when we were explaining the primitive data types and the different type of data types that you have here in JavaScript? I talk about RegEx, and I told you that I was going to explain this in later episodes. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's episode. Now, this is something that covers a lot of information, and this should be a chapter that I should teach in, I don't know, maybe a week or so. But I am going to try to explain you the basics of it, just because I want you to have an understanding in what is a regular expression and how you can use it, right? Now, later on, we're going to be moving in more advanced things that you can do with regular expressions. But for now, just know what it is and how you can use it, at least just the basics of it, okay? So when we were talking about the primitive data types and the type of data that you will find in JavaScript, we talk about primitive, which are strings, numbers, booleans, etc. And then kind of like complex data type, I'll say, which are objects, array, functions, date, and regular expressions. So in here, in the complex side, you will see the regular expression data type, right? And remember that all complex data types are pretty much built-in objects that you will find in JavaScript, right? All of these are built-in objects, we can say. So what is regular expression? If we read here a little bit in MDN, it says that a regular expression object is used for matching text with a pattern. Okay, that's what it is. Now, if you want me to explain you this deeper, I can say that a regular expression, right, and abbreviated is RegExp, we could say a sequence of characters that will define a search pattern. So they are typically used to match patterns in strings, and they're typically used to find and replace stuff that we will be using in our website, or to validate data. Okay, and you will understand this in just a moment. Okay, but just for now, know that regular expression is a data type that you can use to validate, let's say, an email in a form, right? You will use it if you want to create a website and a user types in an email. With a regular expression, you can validate if that email was written correctly or the way that you want it to be, written in a specific format. And you can validate whether if the user input that good or not. Same thing for passwords. It's super useful for that. So for now, just know that you can do that, and also the regular expression help us out a lot when you're searching for things in a website. Let's say you're searching for specific type of characters or numbers, etc. Right? You can find them using the regular expression data type, and you can also replace them. But of course, I'm going to be covering all of this in later episodes. For now, just know that is what a regular expression does. So let's take a look and see in here. Let's keep on reading on MDN in the ways that you can use the regular expression. So in description here, we see that we have literal notations and we have the constructor. Okay. Now, there are two ways to create a regular expression object: a literal notation, as it says here, and a constructor. So the literal notation takes a pattern between two slashes, like this, two slashes, right? And then they are followed by optional flags after the second slash. Okay, so here you see two slashes, and then in between those two slashes, you see AB plus C. So this is how a regular expression will look like. And then after this, you will see a letter at the end, which is what here is explaining. After the second slash, you will see any optional flag, right? It could be I, it could be G. Now, I will explain you what this means later in this episode. But for now, just know that this is something that you will look like to determine if it's a regular expression. Okay, this is typically the literal notation of a regular expression. Now, the second way, right, that you're going to create a regular expression is by using a constructor. We already saw what a constructor is in our previous episode, so you can go ahead and actually check that chapter out if you do not know what a constructor is yet. So here we have the new keyword, which is very common for constructors. And then we have RegExp, and then you open parentheses, and inside of parentheses, you will input here two strings to whatever you want to, do with the code itself. So the constructor function takes either a string or a regular expression object as its first parameter, and a string of optional flags as its second parameter. So the first parameter here is A, B plus C, and then the second one, this is considered a flag inside of the parentheses. Okay. Now, what I want to show you is two examples so that you can understand this. Okay. So the first example, let me just open our code and let's go back to our website in here so you can see what I am talking about. We're going to be using in our first example. Let's see. We're going to be using a literal notation to get started so that you can see how this works. Okay, so let's open our code in here. And the first thing that I am going to do, I am going to create a variable named email. Okay, just so that you can see how we validate emails. So we create a variable named email, and then we are going to say to this, we're going to make this a string. And let's say example at email.com, something like that. Okay, that is going to be our first variable, an email. Now I'm going to create a second variable, and I will name this pattern. Okay, pattern, and then this pattern is going to be / and then \. We're going to use the letter capital S. Then we're going to use the addition operator, then the @ then again another S, and I am going to explain what I'm doing here in just a moment. I'm just writing, just so you know, a regular expression in here, and you know what, I think I forgot here, \, for this, so let's do that. And just don't get overwhelmed for what I'm writing right now, because I will explain what all this is in a moment. Okay, so let's just add plus, and then let me just put here a period, and then of course again the capital S, and then plus, and then we're going to type in to finalize our regular expression. So this right here is a regular expression. Okay, and for this, to explain you this, I need you to go ahead and open the second article, this one right here, which is a regular expression syntax cheat sheet. Okay, and I want you to scroll a little bit down here, just a little bit down, and you're going to read a little bit in what this means. Okay, because we use this portion right here, as you can see, \, and then the letter S. So what this does is that it matches a single character other than the white space or equivalent to, and then they put here a whole bunch of things in square brackets. So you can go ahead and see the example that they give in here. So if you use the \s, then it's going to match foo if you type in foo bar, okay? Because this backslash and then the letter s, it only search in the regular expression for, let's say, characters that are together, okay? If you add a space, then it's not going to help you look out for something that has a space in between. So that's why we are using \s, because we want the first portion of this email, because this is the email format that we want, right? So the first portion of this email, we want it written as all together, example. So that's why I am writing \s, then plus a, which is obviously the the @ in here. Then we use again \s to make sure that everything here is together. Then we add the symbol plus, right? And then we use a backslash and then the dot, which is for this dot right here. And then again, \s, which is for what we already discussed in here. So this regular expression should tell my code, this is the way that I want my email written, which is this format right here. If this is not written in this format, then we're going to return a Boolean here. So let me go ahead and do that for you right now. So let's go ahead and create another variable. And let's call this variable result, okay? And then in this variable, we want to say pattern dot test. And then we're going to set up an email in here, right? And then we're going to console.log the result of this so that you can see what's the result. Now remember here, what I am doing is using this portion right here is a method. .test is a method that is included in the built-in regular expression object, okay? Just so you know. So let's go ahead and take a look at the result now in our console. So let's save that. Let's go back to our document and let's hit refresh. And boom, the result is true. Now, why the result is true? So what we're saying here to our result variable is test this pattern email. Okay, so test if the email has this pattern. If the email has this pattern, the result is going to console.log a result, the result here. So it's going to console.log the result, right? So the result, if the result is true, if this email pattern is the same as I asked in here, then the result is going to be true. If the pattern is not correct, then the result is going to be false. So if I were to add a space after example, remember that \s doesn't cover spaces. So I added a space there. Let's hit save. The result was true previously because I used the pattern. Now, if I am not using the pattern on that email, if I hit refresh, the result is false, right? Because I am breaking the pattern. So that's why we use a regular expression. We validate if the email was written correctly. That way, if you are creating a website, and let's say on that website you have a form, and you're working for a company that is making lead generation, right? And they want to gather lead data, we need to make sure that we gather the correct lead data. So we need to make sure that the emails, phone numbers, etc., that they input are properly in a proper format. So this is the first example that I wanted to show you today, which is what a regular expression can do. So this is the first thing that you can do with a regular expression. Now, I hope that this is clear enough, but if it's not, don't worry, it's okay. You're starting to learn JavaScript, so you can go ahead and leave me your questions in the comment section below, and I will reply as soon as I can, okay? Okay, so what you just learned is what is a literal notation, which is this portion right here, okay? That's a regular expression with a literal notation. Now, let's take a look at the second one, which is going to be a constructor with a string pattern, right? So the second constructor function is what we are going to take a look now. Let me just go ahead and delete all of this. I'm going to hit save, going back to our document, let's hit refresh, okay? And now let me give you the second example, which is with a constructor. So the constructor will be the following. Let's say that I want to create a variable name pattern, okay? Yeah, let's name this pattern. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to create a new regular expression. And then inside of this regular expression, I want this to start with quotes. And then let's type in here this character. Okay, should be on your keyboard. If not, you can also Google it up, copy paste it. Okay, and then let's say just the word hello. Okay, let's just type in the word hello. And then I'm going to add a comma. And then I'm going to add a letter I in here. Okay, the letter I, remember, is a flag, right? Now, this first portion right here is a string. So this is what I am telling my regular expression to start with, right? With the word hello. Now I am, it means that this, I don't care if this is, case sensitive, right? So I don't care if any letter in here or the letter H in here is case sensitive or not. So what we're going to locate now is that this word or whatever we type in our test result in here, it starts with the letter H. That's why we're using this character right here. Okay, so we're building a constructor, remember. So this is the second way you can use this. Now I'm going to close this out. Let's go ahead and add another variable, and we're going to call this text. Okay, and then we're going to say to this text, hello world, just to make the typical thing that we type in typically when we're coding. So hello world, there we go. And then let's close this. This is just a typical string. And then let's create the result. So the result is going to be the pattern. And then we're going to test the text if the text string has or is following that pattern. Okay, and we're going to console that log the result of this. Okay, so what we are doing in here is similar to what we do with our previous code. We're just testing to see if this portion of code, it's including the letter H, because this thing right here, the symbol, again, is just testing or making sure that this pattern follows the first letter, which is H. So let's go back to our cheat sheet in here so that you can see a couple of things, okay? And we're going to scroll a little bit up. Here we go. So you see here, this XYZ, whatever. So this is a negated or complemented character class. That is, it matches anything that is not enclosed in the brackets. So you can specify a range of characters by using hyphen, okay? So like here, hyphen. But we're not using the hyphen, so you don't have to get confused in there, okay? And so you can specify a range of character by using a hyphen. But if the hyphen appears as the first or last character enclosed in the square brackets, it is taken as a literal hyphen. So that makes it more complicated to be included in the character class as normal character. So for example, this is the same as saying this. They are just giving you a quick example. So initially the match O in bacon and H in shop, right? So in other words, it's looking for a letter, okay? It's looking for the first letter. This thing right here is just looking for the first letter that you type in there, okay? So let's go back in here. Let's go back to our code. And let's save this information. Now let's go back to our document. Let's hit refresh. And boom, the result of what we wrote, it's true. Why? Because the letter right here, the letter H, it is included in hello world, right? Now, what if I remove the H? If I remove the letter H and I hit save, okay, I hit now refresh. Now the result is false. Why? Because the letter H is not in there. So, and just so you know, as you can see here, it's not taking into consideration whether if it's capitalized or not, right? Because we added the I at the end. Now, if I remove the I in here and I hit save, let's go back to our code and let's hit refresh. Now the result is false, even though I am including the letter H, because I remove the I, which was saying hey, I don't care if this is capitalized or not, right? Now it does care. If you do not put that I at the end, it does care if it's capitalized or not. So if I go ahead and I put it in lowercase, I hit save and I hit refresh, now the result is true because it's lowercase, right? So if you don't care if it's capitalized or not, just make sure to include the letter I at the end. And then you can go ahead and you can add the letter H in capital, okay? And then let's hit save, going back to our code, hitting refresh, and there you go. The result is still true. Okay, so that's how a regular expression constructor will work. It also uses this same, it uses the flag, and it also uses all the same characters that you will find in the regular expression cheat sheet. So what I recommend you to do, because you can use many matches in here, and many characters, many things that you're going to use to find something in particular. If you want to build a specific format for, I don't know, let's say an email or a password. Let's say that you want to build a password that makes that tells the user, hey, you need to include a capital letter, or hey, you need to include a lowercase letter, and I need you to include a number, and I need you to include a special character, and all of that. Then you do all of that with the regular expression data type. So just make sure that you read here a little bit in why and how you can use this different type of character classes in order to locate that specific pattern that you want to build, okay? This is a very useful article when it comes to regular expressions. And again, I will show you other things that you can do with regular expressions later in the course. But for now, I just wanted to have a clear understanding in what is a regular expression, why we use a regular expression, and why it's so important for you to know it. Well, I hope that now you know what it is and you know how it works. Again, I know you are beginning in JavaScript. If you have questions about regular expressions, just type them in the comment section below. I will take the time to review them and reply to you as soon as I can, okay? So that was it for today's episode, everybody. I hope that you liked it. I hope that you have enjoyed it and you are learning JavaScript. Remember to practice. Practice is very important, even if you are doing or just consoling that log stuff here, which is not really doing anything to the website itself, but you just want to, test out your code or whatever. It's important that you're practicing. You're putting all of this into practice because that's the only way that you're going to learn. If you take a look at this video tutorial right now and then you go sleep and then you don't do anything, trust me, you're going to forget. So the best way to remember all of this is by putting it into practice, especially if you want to get a job as a web developer. It's important for you to be doing this every single day, okay? So, okay, everyone, that's it. Hope you liked it. Remember, if you liked the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you want to get notified every time that I upload a video, make sure to hit that ring bell. And remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye, everyone, and see you again in the next episode.